Might be a little late to the party when it comes to discussing this topic, but to be completely honest, I've been thinking quite a lot about it, okay? I watched Crowder's initial video on this, and for completion's sake, we aren't going to watch through this one, and we're not going to watch through the Daily Wire response video, okay? They're both long, and I've seen a couple of breakdowns of both, and yeah, I've watched both of them on my own time, okay? I watched the initial one, the 27, just about 28-minute long video. I watched it, and Crowder broke down the terms of this contract that he received from an anonymous right-wing media conglomerate, okay? And everything, any identifiers that were on there were all marked out, and he didn't out anybody outside of saying that this is not coming from the Blaze. Nobody knew who this was. Of course, there was some speculation that was going to be running rampant, but he didn't name any names because obviously, okay, there were contracts on the table, there could have been further negotiations, and he's seen this boilerplate offer sheet. And he seen that something was up, and yeah, when I initially watched the video, I thought, yeah, no, he's pointing out some very, very good things, and there's a reason. So many conservative talking heads seem to have very homogenous talking points, okay? And it's something that, well, a lot of people have noticed, whether you tune into Fox News or Fox Cable News. Hi, Grandpa, okay? You got your 50, 60, 70-year-old boomer talking points. It doesn't sound that much different than anything that you're, well, really likely to hear on the current iteration of the Blaze. Like you listen to what Glenn Beck's saying, he's, adopting all the safe talking points from a couple of months ago, and then just throwing in a sweat-drenched, red-faced, blustery delivery on top of it in between crying sessions. Has he worked through that yet? I'm not entirely sure. Or you kick it over to the people who outed themselves for no good fucking reason, to be completely honest. Okay, the Daily Wire, you listen to any single person that's over there, whether it be Ben Shapiro right up at the top, whether it be Andrew Klavan, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, or even Brett Cooper, whatever the fuck she's doing over there, okay? You listen to all of them, you're not going to get any opinions that rock the boat, okay? They're going to go hard on the subjects that you're allowed to go hard on, but other than that, they'll just wait until somebody goes out there and tests the temperature of the pool before they decide to wade in about pinky toe deep. You can go a little bit further afield of that, and you can get into the InfoWars territory, and, well, let's be completely honest, they're going through their own legal processes right now. Would they be in a position to offer Crowder some sort of a contract in order to form a partnership? It would be a call that the Salvation Army would be making, okay? It would be an act of charity for Crowder to even entertain anything like that. So there were some players in this game that you can immediately scratch off the list. Obviously, the Blaze, that was the one outlet that he said, no, not involved in this at all whatsoever. This offer sheet didn't come from them. But what was made patently clear was, yes, Crowder was going to be a free agent. He was either going to be fielding offers, or what is very, very likely, and especially after listening to all three of the videos, yes, there's the third one that Crowder put out his second into this, and there's been a lot of commentariat around this. Just about every talking head from Daily Wire has opined on it multiple times, and some people have gone off platform to spurg out atrociously, but we'll go ahead and poke some holes into that stuff after we get through the facts on this. I seen everything that went down, and I've been biding my time because, yeah, when I seen Crowder's initial take, and then when I seen Daily Wire's response to this, I knew exactly where my positions lined up, because I've said for 2023, I'm standing 10 toes down for all of the good voices that are out there, and I seen this, and I knew exactly who I was lining up behind. But then, when I was starting to hear the other commentariat that's out there, and I listened to a bunch of different breakdowns, a bunch of different perspectives, because I had to think, if I see this so clearly, am I missing something, okay? Because there's a lot of people that have a lot of different takes on this. Some people that are smart and some people that I respect. And sometimes, those two conflict. And just thinking that, okay, maybe I don't have the entire picture on this. And then after hearing all of the cowardly responses from some of the people that are out there, this is one of those Andrew Tate type situations, okay? Whether you supported him on his come up or you're supporting him now that he's being kept in jail for another 30 days. Didn't have there's not enough slots in the day unless I wanted to start increasing my output, but I like to keep a consistency. But we got to talk on that Tate situation very, very shortly. But this is another one of those watershed moments where you're having a group of people, okay? Anybody who's in the conservative sphere, the right-leaning individuals, sensible people, as it were, okay? This is one of those moments where people just start to peel off, okay? And I, after hearing all of the different breakdowns, hearing directly from this little soy beard having, hush-toned, condescending fuck, I could not fathom anybody who is on the correct side of this siding with Daily Wire. I cannot see it. That's why I've taken so long to come out and have any video on this. I've had my opinions, and I've been trying to prove myself wrong in this situation, okay? Legitimately. Like, I've said this multiple times before, okay? I like Steven Crowder. I think he's very good when it comes to breaking down a situation. Now, I've gotten more belly laughs, taking a wander through the burn ward at the hospital, okay? I think he's taken most of his shtick from pillaring everything that Anthony Cumia has done, both on radio in the past and current times. Take a look at his co-host, okay? He ripped him directly off of that show. I still would like to know what's going on with the Facebook lawsuit from back in 2020, okay? I have a bunch of problems with him, but when it comes to presenting a good show with great production value, I think that there is absolutely nobody who comes close to him, okay? He's leading the charge when it comes to the right, and when it comes to breaking down a news topic, when it comes to delivering facts and actually doing some journalism out there. Nobody does it better, okay? He has revolutionized the space, especially the podcasting area, with his mug club, and just about everywhere else that has tried to go independent, including Daily Wire, has adopted that model of, yes, putting some stuff out for free and then hiding another third of the show behind a paywall. It's totally fine. It's totally great. And for full transparency, I've mentioned this a couple of different times. I can go get it if I wasn't using it for storage. I've signed up to Mug Club. I supported them for a year, mostly after 2020. I thought that Crowder and his team did an incredible job. Okay, so I do have my hang-ups with him, but overall, I think he's a good voice that's out there, okay? Compare and contrast that with Daily Wire. There's a bunch of people that were instrumental in the rise of independent content creators. Yeah, go ahead and phrase that correctly. Ben Shapiro. I agree with him on a lot. I don't like him when it comes to social issues. Okay, I think that he's takes his skill in the political arena and then thinks that that also applies to social issues, and he completely misses the point. We would agree on a lot of things, but when it comes to his take on relationships, entertainment, or really anything that could be seen as controversial, he's consistently lining up on the wrong side of things. And given Crowder's breakdown of this Daily Wire offer sheet, as they like to put it, it was just one of those, oh my god, if he signs it, yes, we fucking got him. You can see why he hasn't really, broken through the cultural zeitgeist since he co-created Daily Wire, okay? Now, Daily Wire is owned by an oil tycoon, and people were trying to use that as a gotcha as much as the Stop Big Con thing that Crowder is doing. Fucking stupid Candace Owens was trying to put that out as a big own. That's another person who signed up by Daily Wire who, let's be completely honest, is she thriving under the Daily Wire banner, or was she more relevant beforehand, before she signed that guaranteed safe and secure contract? Okay, was she more relevant as kind of the renegade black female conservative that was out there running the old, if you want to know what Candace Owens is really about, take a look at old Social Autopsy. Or by running with the, Black Lives Matter is a grift. Oh, cool, you put out a documentary on it. Great, really groundbreaking stuff that you have there. You went and talked with some of the crackhead roommates of George Floyd. Good stuff that's out there. But Daily Wire, and care of some of the terms that are in this contract that Crowder broke down in the first video, are the reason that none of those talking heads over at Daily Wire. Take a look at Jordan Peterson, who's also signed up to one of those contracts as well. I watched an interview that he did not that long ago with Michael Franchise, okay? He was the capo regime under the Colombo crime family in the 70s and 80s, okay? It was a very good interview, mostly because Michael Franchise is a very engaging interview, but you can't deny Jordan Peterson of 2022, 2023, I think it was filmed in 2022, not the same type of guy that he was in 2017 prior to him signing that guaranteed contract, and I'm sure it was for a massive monetary figure, but Peterson's already fought his fight. He fought it, and we're going to be completely honest, he fought it in Canada and kind of lost that fight. If we're going to take a look at it objectively, because he was saying some shit about forced gender pronouns, and is it better before or after he made those statements? He definitely brought it to the forefront, and he was definitely right about calling it out, but who's ultimately the winner at the end of the day? The government of Canada. Hopefully the people can rectify that, but that's another topic for another video. Crowder, in contrast, though, he's the only person that can slow him down right now is Steven Crowder, okay? He's fielding offers like any other big content creator out there, okay? After leaving one successful contract because, yeah, he got snatched up by the Blaze in, oh Lord, I can't remember. It's been a few years at this point, but now he's what? Just about 6 million subscribers on YouTube, okay, over 1 million on Rumble. His 2022 midterm election live stream, 350,000 people on there. He claims to have had 350,000 people also sign up to Mug Club. Okay, he is a guaranteed money factory. He can definitely go independent, but he got this contract offer. He was probably just taking a look at one of them. I'm sure they all looked exactly the same, something that he alluded to in his first video as well. And he decided that, wow, I've got to break this down. Okay, I'm getting rid of all of the, incriminating markers that's on here. We just need to go through this. I see a pattern that's developing here, and if the right actually, wants to further this movement, okay, they want to further pierce through big tech censorship, okay, they want to have their ideas out there pushed, cohesively and effectively fight the left's overarching control on entertainment and information. You can't be kneecapping yourself with these predatory contracts where you prioritize money over the message. The Daily Wire, being the grifters that they are, is like, no, this is all fine, and $50 million is a lot of money, you fucking disingenuous cocksuckers. Fuck that video, mate. It pissed me off so much that I was like, how is anybody signing up or rather siding with Daily Wire at this point in time? I cannot see it. I can't see it. And the only thing that it ever came down to was more or less what Huffington Post is putting forward. We'll go back to that Breitbart article because they at least break down what the terms are. And I wanted to just go through the contract itself to just elaborate on the different points that are in it, but I can't find anything, okay? But the Huffington Post, which was founded, at least in part, by Andrew Breitbart, okay? I just realized that I'm using his namesake's news outlet for, the facts, and we're going to one of the opinion pages that he spun off, and then it just spun out into obscurity after his untimely death. But that $50 million never played into Crowder's first video that was out there. Never made mention to it at all whatsoever. He was just taking a look at the different docs that are on there. And yes, we'll get back to the terms here in a second, but this is the entire narrative surrounding this, okay? $50 million offer is actually slavery. A right-wing YouTuber, Steven Crowder, gripes. No, that is conflating several different talking points, okay? And we'll get into it when we get into it. Every now and then, the figureheads of right-wing media pull back the curtain and tell the truth. They're rich babies. That would be Daily Wire in this situation, if we're being completely honest. Crowder was trying to sound the alarm. What I think initially happened, okay, he got this offer sheet. He got multiple offer sheets, okay, from people that you know, from people that you don't know, from startups that are happening, from independents that are just trying to right the ship, okay, realizing that Crowder is definitely the biggest fish in the most lucrative of ponds, trying to form some sort of a collaborative effort, maybe just trying to buy him outright, use him as talent, which Daily Wire seemed to try to be doing in this situation. $50 million is very attractive, but then when you break down the terms, when you break down the restrictions, when you break down the work required for that $50 million, it's a lot of money to you and me. And that's what they're trying to play towards, okay? Because if I could have $50 million, terrific. Not under these terms at all whatsoever, okay? That's where I'm seeing a lot of people just stop with their critical analysis. Oh, $50 million, I basically sell my mother. You cop-out fucks. This is where I'm seeing, okay, a bunch of people just sell out and not have any critical thought when it comes to this stuff. It's just like with the Andrew Tate stuff. The people that it's like, well, I don't agree with everything that he says. No, like I said, I'm going to keep it 10 toes fucking down. Everything that I've heard from Tate, I side with. In Crowder's breakdown of this analysis right now, I side with, because I understand. I listen to the full fucking video. And like I said, I'm not going to play these videos, okay? It's 30 minutes and it's 52 minutes, okay? There's another video I want to get some points from as well. We got a couple of articles here, and I know this video is going to be a big one, so I want to provide you proper context regardless of how long this shit is going to take, because that's what's important to me. Telling the truth, not conflating feelings with, oh, it's just business. Fucking dorks. That's what Crowder was trying to avoid in his first video. Listen, here are these contracts. They're stifling. Daily Wire, I thought we were friends, bro. That's a lot of money. Whoa. But yes, let's let's see what the popular zeitgeist is out there, because there's a bunch of brainlets that I used to think, you know, quite highly of, who would come out and say, oh, this is just millionaires bickering back and forth. It's basically Hollywood. You don't fucking understand, okay? There's a lot of people that I respect that have outed themselves as just being in it for the money. They couldn't care fucking less about anything else. So my purview of people that I appreciate and content that I consume, it just went from a narrow scope of this to a narrow scope of this. It's very, very, very short list, because they've outed themselves once again. These same people were like, oh, Andrew Tate's a human trafficker. What's the evidence? He's a misogynist. But anyways, yes, rich babies. Okay. That's what Steven Crowder, far-right YouTuber, far-right. He's a little bit more base than some tradcons that are out there. If I'm to put his politics into any sort of a bucket, it's definitely tradcon. But he is hearing out a bunch of other, he's hearing out, yes, a bunch of different figures on several other topics in the same sphere. Some well-meaning people with just a little bit more of a niche expertise. He's hearing those talking points, okay? Like, he's somebody who will have Alex Jones on, outside of, you know, like, the only other person that's going to be out there is somebody who needs to latch on to other people for relevancy. Piers Morgan, okay? Like, listen, what the fuck was Piers Morgan uncensored before he had Jordan Peterson come on and cry, and then Andrew Tate had him on twice, and then you have Alex Jones on again just to go, oh, all you talk about is Sandy Hook. Well, that's all you want to talk about, you little fucking limey creep. But no, Crowder will talk to Alex Jones on the regular, okay? And he'll talk to, you know, spicy political figures and commentators as well. Dude, fucking one of his most recent strikes, which that is something, okay, that's going to come up quite a bit when we get into the terms of this stuff here in a second. Crowder goes up against the line. Sometimes, and as somebody who's been struck 10, 11, 12, oh, and even if I go on to my other channel, you know, somewhere around 15, yes, 15 different times. I've won about half of them at this point in time, okay? I've been on multiple different suspensions. YouTube guidelines, you don't know when you're getting up to that line. And yes, Crowder, you know, been suspended multiple times just in the past year. He'll have on Carrie Lake, okay? Carrie Lake will say some spicy things about spicy elections, okay? And he doesn't care, man. He just wants to have the truth out there. That's why I really appreciate what he did in 2020, especially when he had some investigative journalists go down to Nevada and do some address checks. Those are I don't know if they're still up on YouTube, okay? Might be over on Rumble. They might be up on Mug Club. You might be able to check them out somewhere, but that was some very good stuff, okay? And he definitely earned my support in that time. But yes, back to the mischaracterization of this far-right YouTuber known for the change my mind meme, which is funny because you got a picture of Ben Shapiro right there, and Huffington Post even has a Ben Shapiro category. So again, we know who's in it for the money. It's always projection with these fucks, because side tangent again, okay? Like I said, there's so many things that I want to talk about, and I know I'm going to be missing some other things that I've been thinking about over the past few days when it comes to this as well, okay? It's pure fucking projection, especially from Daily Wire. Crowder wasn't mentioning, outside of just the monetary numbers that were on the page, when it comes to fines and being docked onto your overall budget. He didn't mention money at all, okay? I legitimately believe, maybe I'm stupid on this one, okay? I legitimately believe that he is trying to create and foster some sort of movement so that we're not continuously stuck spinning our fucking wheels, continuing to just fight back weakly with, you know, wooden swords. Meanwhile, the other side has a fucking Gatling gun. Anyways, and getting beat up by pro-labor demonstrators in Lansing did this week. Oh, pro-labor demonstrators in Lansing? Yeah, that was Antifa that came and crashed his talk at the Michigan State Capitol when Gretchen Whitmer was too busy subjugating everybody in Michigan while her and her husband were out on a yacht on the lake. Yeah, very interesting. Good characterization that you have here. When he loudly complained that a $50 million offer was actually a form of slavery. See how they characterize all this stuff? And again, this is where everybody fucking bites on. They hear, oh, slavery? And they hear $50 million. Well, I would do anything for $50 million. You sell out cucks. I don't want your opinion anymore. You've outed yourself as being useless, and you're just going to be vultures over the top of this. Fuck off. Go away. And that he was bravely speaking out in the name of human rights. What are you talking about, dude? As the Daily Beast, oh my god, the Huffington Post quoting the Daily Beast. Yo, this is like Planned Parenthood sourcing NAMBLA. Oh, fucking Christ. The dust-up began when Crowder posted a video Tuesday calling out an unnamed right-wing media company. All of them. all of the companies, okay? And again, I'll provide sources. If you want to watch the videos, I would encourage you to as well, okay? Better production value than what you're going to find right here, but I'm adding the additional context. Feel free. I don't care if you just want to use it as a click-through. I've aggregated all of the videos in the appropriate context for everything. And no, it's more of a service than what Huffington Post is doing for you. Yeah, Post, unnamed right-wing media company for what he said was an immoral offer to host Crowder's show and produce other content for him. That's wrong. That's just actually wrong. Among other things, Crowder griped that the unnamed company wanted control of his official social media accounts. That's actually correct and very nefarious as well. Why do you think nothing relevant? But why do you also think, okay, whenever you see a trend on the side, okay, the what's happening now on Twitter, or I don't know, whatever's on the explore page on Instagram, or whatever stupid shit's going on Snapchat and TikTok, okay, why is Ben Shapiro trend? Okay, Tim Pool outs himself regularly. It's like, I say the most YouTube friendly things. Okay, I play the game appropriately to have maximum reach that's out there. I respect him for saying that. I don't respect him for admitting to the grift. Or maybe it's, yeah, okay, I respect him for admitting to the grift. Let me rephrase that, okay? I just don't respect him for sitting on the fence post, which is just, it was a meme, and then he crystallized it on top of that. But he's gonna have Crowder on the show tomorrow, and that'll be an event in and of itself, okay? And that they wanted to be able to penalize him for missing shows and for being demonetized on social media platforms, should that occur, as it already has on YouTube. Yeah, there's a bunch of different terms that's on here, okay? The offending company didn't stay unnamed for long. The next day, Jeremy Boring, for whatever fucking reason, and what an apropos surname if I've ever seen one, the CEO of the Daily Wire, the right-wing media, or the web media company he co-founded with Ben Shapiro, and then, yes, sold it to some, oil tycoon billionaire who, maybe if you trace back to see where his donations and money go, maybe you'll see something. But again, that's like, okay, cool. Somebody who's in a different enterprise decided to make a really good investment. And it's like, yeah, I don't like Daily Wire per se, but, purchasing and funding that for a substantial kickback, especially when you take a look at the terms of the contract, which we will very shortly, because I'm not finding much substance in this Huffington Post article. I might be proven wrong when we get a little bit deeper in this, but it's a good investment by that oil tycoon because, yeah, man, you're getting a huge number in terms of ROI. But the way that they present Daily Wire, okay, in comparison to Steven Crowder, the far right-wing meme lord known for being beat up in Michigan, as opposed to, the Daily Wire, a right-wing media company. Okay, cool. I see what's going on. Boring laid into Crowder. Yeah, did a whole bunch of guilt tripping, and I thought we were friends, bro. Oh, just a fucking bitch. I thought facts didn't care about your feelings. But in this case, okay, listen, this is just an initial offer, and, we could have definitely negotiated more, and we would have offered him so much. And why did you initially come forward? It's like, this is just a standard offer sheet. And then why did you personalize it for Steven himself and have that number picked out, $50 million? We were ready to negotiate so much more, and we thought that he'd get rid of this stuff. It has nothing to do with the money. That's what you guys came forward with. You could have stayed on the sidelines on this. Do you think Fox would opine on this? Because there was some speculation, okay? Because Crowder, in that first video, says that I don't want to do a whole bunch of ad reads for what, reverse mortgages, gold, or pocket catheters. Those are some things that get advertised on Fox News. Those are things that get advertised on The Blaze. Obviously, it wasn't from The Blaze. That's things that, yes, the Daily Wire advertises. Epoch Times advertises, okay? They're just very popular things, okay? He could have also said, air purifiers as well. There's a bunch of different things that get advertised all over conservative-minded podcasts, okay? And that's the only in that you could have had, okay? Because he censored out every other identifier in the contract. Like, there was no need for this to happen. But no, Daily Wire got up in their feelings and, did an hour-long fucking spurgfest. It's really difficult to watch, but again, I encourage you to do it. As long as you have one of those stress dolls available or you have something to punch, I'm just saying. But yes, Boring laid into Crowder, who said he's not exactly a self-made man. Bro, without Steven Crowder's personality, I don't understand that. Listen, man, it's pretty scummy for him to criticize Crowder. Yeah, well, he's not exactly a self-made man. But then also have that astroturfed Brett Cooper, who, she's attractive, she's easy on the eyes. But without the production quality of Daily Wire and the nefarious contract that he's holding in that thumbnail image right there, never would have got to 1 million subscribers in under a year, okay? Search engine optimization, a cute face saying things that appeal to boomers. I don't know who the fuck Jeremy Boring is outside of the confines of Daily Wire and starting that publication, but without the help of a bunch of other people, he wouldn't be in that situation. Crowder, yeah, he's used a bunch of people, okay? There's still some things going on outside of that he needs to address. And yeah, I understand. He's adopted a bunch of different talking points. Fuck, he stole some wholesale. I understand that. But that's still his work. To say that he's not a self-made man is garbage. That is a stupid take, and that's a low blow. But that video is full of them. It's boggling, okay? Pointing out that Crowder has worked for years for companies founded on the backs of billionaires, including The Blaze and CRTV. Yeah, no, that's 1,000% true. But you know what else is true? He took those contracts, okay? He had full reign on all of those, and he's multiplied his fan base, his user base. What is comparable at The Blaze, at the current form, okay? What's comparable to Crowder? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Glenn Beck was definitely something back in the day. He cannot rival Steven Crowder. The Blaze, when they bought out CRTV, bought it entirely for Steven Crowder, because you know who else was signed to a CRTV contract at the time? Evan McInnes. The first thing that they did when they bought out CRTV was make sure that they promote the fuck out of acquiring Steven Crowder's show, fusing together a Blaze membership with Mug Club and getting rid of Gavin McInnes. They didn't want anything other than Crowder at that point in time. Could they do that right now? Obviously not. That's why that relationship is over. And that's why Daily Wire's like, well, why didn't he have to come forward with a contract? Because we want to keep people under our thumb. Even the whole time I've known him has worked for someone else. But yet he still employs like 30 people, has his own studio. Yeah, he's affiliated in some form or fashion with The Blaze, with CRTV, and then before that, he used to work for Fox, but then he went independent, created the Louder with Crowder brand, and then made it into what it is today. But no, he's always worked for somebody else. It's always been somebody else pulling the strings. Fuck off. Boring said, adding later, Steven's philosophy seems to be, I deserve to be paid millions and millions and millions of dollars whether my show drives up revenue or not. What a disingenuous cocksucker, man. Didn't mention money at all whatsoever. He was pointing out your nefarious terms in your fucking contract. He's not looking for a business relationship. He's looking for a benefactor. You can fuck right off. You also said, and I'm sure, Huffington Post, because they're out here spinning a narrative, not exactly spitting facts, also said that, we thought about engaging in a partnership, a revenue share with Steven, but we thought that he deserved an upfront guarantee. It's in the video. Go back and check it, okay? But they aren't going to mention that. Shapiro himself briefly responded to Crowder's video as well. To be fair, I haven't watched, Benny Boy's response to this, but I've seen one clip that's out there, okay? And they are really hinging on the fact that, oh my God, he signed up that big condo man back in early December. It's like everybody knew, everybody in this sphere understood that he was going to be a free agent very, very soon. So contract negotiations were going to be going on. Oh, and in soon, I mean in the fall of 2022. So yes, negotiations were going to need to start, and offers were going to need to be fielded all the way up until the new year, because it was made very, very obvious that he's going to be moving on from the Blaze. So yeah, after he probably received a bunch of those offers, realizing that they're all basically the same, they're all incredibly restrictive, there's something wrong with this industry. But yes, what did Shit Dick have to say on this? Noting that the offer was negotiable. Yeah, see, listen, we insulted you beforehand. It's like, okay, cool. I'm starting up a baseball league, okay? It's going to rival the MLB. I'm going to call it the NLB. Don't ask what that stands for. And I'm going to field offers to Mike Trout, Clayton Kershaw, Shohei Ohtani, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to set out a bunch of $12 million contracts, everybody. I'm going to have a bunch of restrictions that are in there where I'm going to own all of their likenesses. And it's like, bro, I offered you $12 million to come over with no ability to earn more if you make the company more successful, which Crowder, if you take a look at, his rise over the past 2, 4, 6, 10 years, it's an exponential increase every single fucking year. And there's no reason to believe that he wouldn't be successful if allowed to operate as he has over those past 10 10 years, okay? He went from being a guy with a fucking bedsheet as a background, just him, one camera angle, to having an entire studio and an entire office of individuals, okay? 30 people. It's not quite the lush set the Daily Wire has, okay? Oh my God, just a bunch of personalized offices, a bunch of women working in the background. Oh my God, Daily Wire's a well-oiled machine, of course. Why wouldn't you want to come over and work for CNN of the right? I was right when I called that to begin with, and that's exactly what they were, and that's what they still are, and that's what they're acting like. What did shit dick? Yeah, anyways, we'll go back to what Shapiro's continuously opining on. Not about, thinking for yourself when it comes to the jab or anything like that, or questioning any sort of elections, or constantly being on the wrong side of political takes until it becomes, societally appropriate to be like, well, actually, Trump was actually a really good president. It's not like I was a never-Trumper all the way up until 2019. Bitch. There's something rather nasty about attacking people who have been friends, colleagues, defenders over the past decade on the basis of your misinterpretation of a document that offers you $15 million over the course of 4 years. Tell me you're all about the money without having to tell me that you're all about the money. But this is the guy. This is facts over feelings. Ben Shapiro saying, well, we're friends and you should just be happy that we offered you that much money with all of those restrictions. And instead of opining on what other people have to say about this, let's just take a look at the terms that are going to be in this, okay? Because, man, everything has just been thrown on this guy's plate. Stupid Daily Wire, they brought all the heat in this one. There is no two ways about that. They could have stayed on the side of it. They could have also reported on this in some form or fashion, maybe take little shots, never fully address anything, spurn it up as non-controversial drama, okay? But no, instead they're like, no, we're actually a really good company. How good are you? A conservative media company that right-wing commentator Steven Crowder blasted over an employment offer earlier this week, claiming the proposal had immoral terms that actually punish conservative content creators on behalf of big tech. That's exactly what they do, okay? Has identified itself as the Daily Wire. Why? Again, why outside of just self-creating drama? On Tuesday, Crowder, who had long been demonetized on YouTube, keep note of that, posted a 28-minute long video on his channels, all of his channels. I first seen all of this stuff kick off when I was over on Rumble, okay? Because I spend probably, whenever I'm watching something, most of the time lately, it's over on Rumble if I'm going to keep it a buck. Has been long demonetized, yes, on YouTube, posted video to his channel in terms of employment offer from a conservative media company, though he did not name the organization. See, I'm glad somebody tells the truth about this stuff. I went into free agency. I looked over all the offers and I saw the clause come out, Crowder said. I don't just mean unreasonable demands for control, but what I would argue are immoral terms that actually punish conservative content creators on behalf of big tech. Yeah. Now, does that say, and I received a bunch of different offers that were out there. I went into free agency. I looked over the offers, okay? And this is just one, oh my God, it's an outlier and it's so bad and nobody should ever sign this one contract to. I'm not gonna name, but it rhymes with Whaley Dyer, okay? I'm just saying. No, he's saying, I see a pattern that's developing here. You want to know why all of those talking heads on the right sound exactly the same? Here's why. Crowder's video, which goes over penalties embedded in the contract, went viral. Over speculation ensued among social media users as to what company put forward the offer. Yeah, of course, there's two big ones, but then again, I was also thinking, is somebody going to do a startup? Because, man, if I had billions of dollars, if I was another one of these unsolicited oil tycoons, okay, and I wanted to start a media empire, that's the dude to build around, okay? He has all the connections. He's definitely on the come up. What would be the downside? On Wednesday, Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring responded to Crowder in a 52-minute long video defending the opening offer. Of course he did, but yes, $50 million offer. Keep that in mind as well, because that's the number that's thrown around, and a $50 million, it's basically like slavery. Check this out. It's a 4-year deal worth $50 million. 4-year deal worth $50 million. What does that break down to? $12.5 million per, okay? Is it $50 million every year? No, okay? It's for 4 years. But then it has a club option, studio option, thinking in sports terms on this one once again, okay? For another 2 years. at Daily Wire's discretion. And you think after 4 years, like, put yourself right now, okay, they're going to have another election cycle on this one, okay, you think they wouldn't pick up that additional 2 years on Crowder's contract, continue to keep him under these draconian policies for another 2 years at $12.5 million after all of the money, after all of the ad reads that are put in here, okay, after buying out Mug Club, all of those subscriptions on top of everything else where you can get all of your exclusive Louder with Crowder content? You don't think $12.5 million a year is going to be a severe discount? You're out of your fucking tree. It is right now, and in the future, it's definitely going to be. It's an insult. It's definitely an insult from that number, and that is something they could have negotiated if the terms were good. If it was like, here, we want to, go ahead and cover all the production costs, okay? We just want to keep your show the way it is, okay? Continue to do whatever the fuck you want. We just want to have some sort of a partnership. We want to be open to this stuff, okay? Here you go. Opening offer, $50 million. He could have looked at that and been like, well, that's awfully low. How about we go ahead and double that? And those are the way that negotiations could have went on. But again, he's seen a pattern when it comes to these terms that are underneath and, called them out appropriately. $50 million over 4 years is referred to as the fee. In exchange, Crowder would have to produce daily 192 or 194. Basically, Monday through Thursday, the exact same schedule that he's working right now, has to produce a daily show, 1 hour on the other side of the paywall and at least 30 minutes for Daily Wire Plus, okay? Which is not dissimilar from what he does right now. 4 weeks, a year of vacation time, but he still has to provide that 194, I think it's 194 shows every single year. And if he misses one, he gets docked. Monthly content, well, he has to be available for the Daily Wire All Access Q&As and all that stuff. That has to be done. And if he misses that, well, that's going to be another dock, okay? Quarterly content, same thing. If he doesn't do one of those much larger productions, he's not getting all of the production for this stuff that comes out of that $50 million. So the $12.5 million every year that he gets has to cover the daily content, the monthly content, the quarterly content, everything else that he's currently doing right now, that comes out of that fee. And an annual content like, Stupid Soybeard, what's that called? What is a Woman? That's one of those annual feature films, which, don't worry, Daily Wire is going to cover a portion of the production cost, but you still have to provide that. Otherwise, you get docked. I think that one was, $1 million. $1 million. Imagine that. Just scale that down to your own personal salary. Okay. Imagine that. You don't do one big project, okay, it's your job, whatever it is, okay, year-end report or something like that. It's late, you miss a deadline or something like that. You don't even do it in total. You miss one entire month's salary. It's just gone. It's just gone like that because, it needs to be feature-length content. And, they'll provide up to, I think it was like $2.5 million to cover, but outside of that, you just need to make sure that it needs to be up to Daily Wire standard as well. Every year you have to crank out shit like this. Terms like this, now, extrapolated out to Hollywood, okay? Any other entertainment media that's out there. Why do you think everything new that's coming out, basically with a couple of very, very slight exceptions, fucking sucks, okay? Because it's constantly put on a conveyor belt. Same shit over and over again. Very little advancement. Nobody's really changing all that much. You know exactly why that is. Because they're fucking overworked. Daily content, monthly content, quarterly content has to be done. Otherwise, you're getting docked. You're not going to be compensated for anything that goes on. And there's no incentive to perform. Absolutely none, okay? Because it doesn't matter. Okay, cool. Crowder's Daily Show. I'm not entirely sure how many he gets just on a regular run-of-the-mill every morning show, okay? Let's just say 10,000 viewers. I'm sure that I'm vastly underselling that right now. But imagine at the end, in a couple years' time, especially in the ramp up to 2024, couple years' time, okay? He starts to get on his daily morning show, 50,000 people start to tune in, okay? There's no performance bonuses that's in this contract, okay? Boring went through everything. I wanted to take a look at the letter of this. Maybe both parties are missing out this type of stuff. There is no incentive to improve. There's only incentive to hold and maintain the terms of the contract for what? But you get $50 million, bro. Yeah, that you have to pay out to everybody else that's on your staff. That has to be used to cover production costs. And I understand, and I broke down the numbers, okay, taken out for taxes and stuff. It's somewhere in the area of $60,000 a show. But then you've also got to factor in your monthly and your quarterly shows as well, and that budget drastically gets reduced as well Does it really seem like that good of a deal now? Regarding daily content, Crowder would be responsible for creating 4 90-minute shows a week, including 60 minutes. Oh, there it is, 192, sorry. Without a paywall, and another 30 from behind one, for a total of 192 episodes per year. One's vacation, 4 weeks of vacation is factored in. Which, if you've been following Crowder's show, okay, 4 weeks, man. He's got kind of a pseudo-stern contractor, okay, at least the production schedule right now. Puts out a couple of other things, some ancillary content from here and there, but say that he only has 4 weeks of vacation right now. Oh, but that's something that could have been negotiable. Ugh. Yes, he would also have to produce a 90-minute all-access live member Q&A each month, as well as a quarterly promotional shoot. Finally, he would have to be responsible for delivering 1 feature-length entertainment special per year, such as the documentary or a stand-up comedy special, as Boring noted. Great, so you go hit the road, okay? You go do, because lately he's been going around with Dave Landau doing some comedy shows and that, and it's like, okay, cool. You set up the entire shoot and all that stuff, and you go ahead and you put that on Daily Wire Plus. Okay, we'll cover some of the production costs, but you got to do that. You got to work out your 1 hour of material. Okay, you got to do all that stuff on top of the shows that you have to produce, and you'd be absolutely retarded, okay, to just do this video right now by the time that it goes up. And I don't know how much longer this one's going to be, but this video right now, to produce it and for you guys to watch it, however long it is, by the time that it's all edited down, thumbnails are created, the description's done, the tags are made, all of the stuff on the back end, okay, sending it out, processing it, everything that's done that you guys don't give a fuck about, you just see the end product of this, it's about 2-3 times longer than the recording of the video. You don't see everything that I have to source beforehand, to go through everything, make sure that I get my references right. You also don't have to care about any of that stuff as well. That's what Crowder has to do, and he has a much larger, multiple times larger production than just about everybody else on the platform. But that factors into our contract, and you got to do that every single fucking day. 192 shows a year. Well, and then you factor in the additional 12 that you have to do every month, okay? 4 more on top of that for the quarterly. And then you got to throw on a yearly fucking special. Bro, there are very few comedians that put out a new yearly special, okay? And those that do, they're either remarkable special talents on top of that, like Carlin or Pryor, okay, who constantly had a new HBO year end, okay? But how many of them were working a full-time job? I don't fucking think so. This is why people burn out. That's why you get kids at the end of these types of contracts. They're just absolutely fucking done. Throwing them to the fucking wolves at the end of this stuff. Because they're just put on this content conveyor belt. Oh, sure, Daily Wire gets them all the way to the end. And oh, yeah, you're a big star. But now we own your channel, all of your back catalog. But everybody knows your face. And you can go out there and be famous. You fucking ugh. The amount of content required is not in line with frankly, it's worse than Disney, it's worse than ABC, it's worse than NBC, it's worse than CBS, Crowder said Tuesday. Yeah, I can't disagree with that, okay, because you take a look at that stuff. Who else is fucking doing this? Okay, is Tucker doing that? Nope. Hannity? Nope. Rachel Maddow? Nope. I'm using those references because, let's be honest, Crowder's probably on that level, okay? And again, as cringy as I find those comedy segments that he puts on the show from time to time, okay? Those shoots, those are multi-camera shoots. Those are edited, those are written, those are produced and edited. Those are multi-hour shoots, okay? And when he goes out and he does one of his meme namesakes, okay, one of those change my mind segments, those are multi-day shoots, okay? And then they get edited down as well, and those are more man hours. That all gets taken out of that $50 million. So to think that the $50 million is going directly in his pocket, you're fucking retarded. That's not for him. That's entire production cost for the building, for the staff, for the editing, for the sourcing, for the scripting, all of that stuff. $12.5 million a year. Sounds a lot to you and me, but when you actually break it down, probably not much more than just a working man's salary, okay? Which, yeah, I understand content creation isn't exactly the most laborious job on earth, but when you do it day after day after day, multiple hours at a time, for the right person, it's fun, it's enjoyable. I consider myself in that group, but for other people, I could see where the burnout would start to creep in. Yes, okay, yeah. Crowder said Tuesday, this is ownership of you and everything that you do. Penalties from reductions of the fees include, here's where it gets, this is where it starts to get very, very interesting, and definitely the justification, the rationality from Daily Wire, it's one of the best defenses of cancel culture I've ever seen in my life. Put it at that, okay? A reduction in fees, yes, 10%, 20% reduction on your production, or on your $50 million that you would have got, comes from boycotts, content strikes, bans from major social media platforms. Very interesting. So if anybody decides to petition one of the sponsors, Birch Gold ends up getting petitioned because, you're sponsoring that hateful bigot Steven Crowder. And now all of a sudden, they pull their ad buys like your sponsors or want to do every once in a while. Okay. Then you get docked for that. Content strikes. Who even fucking knows what justifies a strike in today's day and age? That happens, you're gone. Bans or also demonetization on social media platforms. Well, then the collective doesn't get paid, comrade. That's one of the justifications. If you don't get demonetized, not everybody makes as much money. Therefore, you're not entitled to as much money. But if you massively profit off of the talent that you just bought, they don't see any benefit from this. Are you fucking insane? Why would anybody sign this? Failing to meet content output, as well as stipulations over the rights to handle his own social media accounts. No, you're allowed to have your personal accounts, but nothing from the show. So the show could totally contradict anything that he would be saying on his personal accounts, like his at Steven Crowder or whatever the fuck it is on Twitter, or on Instagram or something like that. He's got his own personal accounts. But what are you allowed to post? Are you allowed to post clips from the show? Would you get content? Because that would be a funny situation. Okay, you ended up getting content striked. Okay, if you posted a clip from your show's Twitter page or your show's YouTube channel, that would be fucked. Crowder told up-and-coming conservative content creators, don't sign these contracts. Exactly, man, okay? Because, like I pointed out multiple times, okay? Content strikes, man, you have no idea what you're going to get struck for. One thing that I said in a video that got me struck way back in the cut, okay, was saying, thanks to what Texas was doing by lifting mask mandates, really looks like they're ineffectual. That got me struck back in 2021. You say shit like that? Bro, I had another video, okay, where we were breaking down. There was that, McDonald's fight, okay, where a couple of kids were punching this crazy man in the back of the head, and then he took out a fucking hatchet and then started to bust up the dining area, okay? And then I went on for the vast majority of the video to break down why emotional men are bad. That video got struck as well. How the fuck are you supposed to know what's going to be a flagrant violation of YouTube? We have people on the inside of YouTube and we work all the time because we're constantly shadow banned and we're constantly hit with strikes. I've never seen the Ben Shapiro show, never seen the Matt Walsh show ever taken down by strikes. Bro, it is ludicrous to assume that, okay? And do you think Ben Shapiro gets censored? Do you think he gets shadow banned? Absolutely not. He keeps it squeaky clean. No swearing, no controversial topics. That's why Crowder's saying, don't sign these contracts because you just put out this vanilla content. Nobody's going to fucking care. You have to have a personality behind you. You have to have charisma. You have to push the envelope in order for anybody to pay attention to you. If you just come in with your produced background, because if you take a look at the Daily Wire, sets, okay, even Jeremy Boring's background, okay, again, it's probably the most, boring background that they have there, but every single one of them looks exactly the same. Matt Walsh's background doesn't look all that different from Ben Shapiro's. It doesn't look that different from Jordan Peterson's new set. It doesn't look different from Michael Knowles, Brett Cooper, Andrew Clavin, okay, anybody else who's on there. It doesn't look different. It looks homogenized, it looks safe, and it's fucking boring. And every single one of them has the exact same lapel mic and fucking fake hundreds of dollars of microphone off to the side, okay? It's that type of content where if somebody doesn't know the political leaning of somebody, they just immediately get the creeps. It's like, this is inauthentic. This is a reason why I get my information from YouTube instead of just going to cable news. That's the reason why I cut the cord. I didn't like the inauthenticity to begin with, so why am I going on YouTube, okay, getting 10 minutes of a diatribe in order for it to be interrupted by a Birch Gold read or I don't know what the fuck else they promote that's out there, what was that, the Scottish sham of you can buy the square foot of land and then call yourself a lord or something like that, for fuck's sakes. Just constantly get interrupted on that because you need to make sure, and that's another thing that's in there. If you miss an ad read, oh, then you get docked on that. I'm not too sure if that one was a flat fee or if it's a percentage that comes out of your budget. This is what happens. You need to follow a regimented schedule. And that's why I'm sure the entire Daily Wire matrix, the entire media amplification complex that they have there. They've got the algorithm and a bunch of spies that are inside YouTube in order to promote everything. But then you just take these kids, okay? Brett Cooper is the perfect example of this. You just take them, you put them in front of the camera, tell them exactly what to say, how long to say, give them the content to read off the top of it, okay? They get to the end of their contract, okay? They can either negotiate. Once again, it's like, I've got a 1 million subscriber channel. That's all great, but you didn't learn anything, okay? You didn't develop your personality. Jeremy Boring seems to think in the follow-up video, the subsequent video, which I don't think we're going to break down, maybe we will in the future, I'll just opine on the one thing that everybody's very upset on, okay? That, oh, you recorded a phone call with your friend. Your friend that just released a nearly hour-long video fucking screeching and whining and complaining. I thought we were friends. No, he recorded a phone call with an adversarial party knowing that he was going to take some shit out of context, okay? He just put out a very mundane part of the phone call. Some people seem to think they put on their old fucking lawyer hat and it's like, oh, that's not legal. You're not allowed to record anybody. Texas, that's where Steven Crowder is. One-party consent state. All he needed to record that phone call was Steven Crowder's consent. He put it out there. Jeremy Boring was the only one who brought up slavery in that conversation right there. Yeah, sure, we bring these people on. They can be wage slaves, but then they'll still be famous afterwards, even though we own their entire brand, all of their contract. You know what? You just go ahead. After that 4 years, well, 6 years afterwards, under this very discounted rate, at the end of the contract, well, guess what? We own your channel. We own all of your back catalog. Okay, we still own all the social media that is attached to that product. But you can go out there and you can continue to be famous. This is just a launching point for you. You own all of the reason that anybody would take them seriously. You are trying to run this like Hollywood. Absolutely, 1000%. This is where I will agree with some of the people that said this is just like Hollywood. It is, okay? These are the people. This is where I don't like the Daily Wire's inauthenticity, okay? And that's exposing this contract really perfectly painted that picture. They purport themselves to be, oh, you know, the talking heads that are really going to be straight shooters and give you the facts. Everything's produced. Everything's written. Everything is fake behind you. Fake set, fake microphone. All you have is an actor delivering the talking points, making the ad reads, hitting the posts, never pushing the line, just doing the safe shit, okay? Reacting to safe memes online, okay? Doing, oh, this is the first time I've ever watched Star Wars. Wow, that sure was good. I like the one with the little teddy bears. Boy, that bowcaster sure is cool. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Fucking Christ. It's inauthentic. And that's what you get. Somebody who's just gonna go ahead, repeat the talking points that you want them to, and then at the end of the contract do another, they can sign up once again, they can re-up their contract to just stay on there, make as little money as humanly possible, while Daily Wire profits on top of it. And this isn't, if it wasn't for Daily Wire interjecting their fucking crooked noses into this, nobody would have been any the wiser. And like Crowder was saying, this is a systemic problem. This is big conservative media in bed with big tech to make this safe, non-confrontational content just in order to feed the big conservative machine. This is just like those think tank politicians that just want to sit back, cash a check every once in a while, stand up and go, America first. But then when the chips come down, continue to vote and send all of the taxpayer money over to Ukraine. Continue to fund the perpetually engorged defense budget. Say one thing, do another. We're on the side of freedom. Now you're on the side of making money. And that's where we part ways, friend. But more of the terms of the contract. If Crowder is boycotted or dropped by more than 50% of his then Accent advertising partners, that is 50% of the revenue from those parties, and the company is not able to replace them within 90 days, then the fee will be reduced 25% until such a time that the ad revenue is restored for a period of 90 days. So that's 25%. Even if it's for 3 months, that's 25% of that $50 million. That's just so generous. I thought we're friends, bro. And that is something that is completely out of his hands, because that's why we went through the Huffington Post article to begin with, okay, they're just going to be taking shots at him. And that's why it's safe to take shots at Ben Shapiro, because you take a look at his content and there's nothing of substance there. Okay, he was more inflammatory prior to Daily Wire. That's where he came up with the facts don't care about your feelings. That's when he was going to college campuses. That's where he was cutting his teeth, making his bones. But now he cashed out. Now he just wants to keep everybody else on the plantation like a good little houseboy. Content strike. Here's where it also gets nefarious. If any of the major platforms, YouTube, sorry about that, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify issues a content strike other than a company-wide content strike, whatever that means, such that Crowder content cannot be monetized on such platform, which YouTube, yeah, they'll just go ahead and drop a ban on you for whatever the topic of the week is. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. Don't worry about it. Facebook, I hear that they're pretty bad as well. Apple Podcasts, yeah, they'll just get rid of it. And especially if everybody else is just like this. Just imagine. You've seen it happen with Tate. You've seen it happen with Alex Jones. You've seen it happen with numerous other people. The moment that they start to deplatform you from one, it's a cascading effect. And that's what one of these contracts is supposed to prevent against, okay? It's the guaranteed upfront, okay? $50 million sounds great until you start to break it down and realize that it's a self-enforced glass ceiling. And then, yes, with Boring saying, well, we put all the risk up front. It's $50 million. Even though you know Crowder's going to continue to overperform that $50 million. You guys are going to be making 3, 4, 5 times back that $50 million. You know exactly. Even if you just run that rough estimate that he has 300,000 people signed up for Mug Club, okay, that's already enough money. But yes, his content cannot be monetized on such a platform, and the company is not able to resolve the issue within 90 days. The fee will be reduced by 25% from that point forward. As everybody knows, and if not, here's some clarification. Crowder's current YouTube channel, the 6 million subscriber channel, and I think the Bits channel as well. I know the main one is for sure. It's not monetized at all. So Boring was saying, oh, well, we just go ahead and strike that right from the contract. But this was just an offer sheet, right? It wasn't personalized to him at all. So, but then it's very convenient. The excuses that he uses. At one point, it's just your basic opening offer sheet. But then at the same time, oh, we're friends. And this is a lot of money for him. Additionally, if Crowder is banned from YouTube or Apple Podcasts, the fee will be reduced by 20% for each instance. Okay. While it would be reduced by 10% for bans on Facebook and Spotify. Oh, see, that's not that bad. Crowder asserted that the boycott stipulation sends a message. Hey, liberals, boycotts work. They work on our guys. We will punish them for you. Exactly. And they run their tactics exactly the same way that the government did with the jab mandates. Okay. Don't do it for, even if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for everybody else who's under the same banner. Okay. Because if you lose money, then everybody loses money. So don't say anything controversial. It's that same stupid fucking argument. And Piers Morgan trotted it out more than once, especially against Andrew Tate. Well, if you didn't say the things that you said in such an inflammatory way, you wouldn't get such pushback. But if people that are inflammatory, known for their rhetoric, didn't say the rhetoric in that inflammatory way, they wouldn't be popular to begin with. So it's a self-defeating prophecy. Well, let's just say Crowder took this contract, okay? Whatever they negotiated the terms, it was $100 million, all of that stuff. Crowder takes this. He has to adhere to all of these different policies. He goes from his regular morning show to having to stop every 15, 20 minutes in order to hit an ad read, something that he'd normally do once per show, okay? And there would be nothing controversial. Hey, you like to come in here and you like to hear talking points when it comes to the jab? Yeah, you want to hear him talk about election irregularities? Won't be hearing anything of that because you can't get too close to that content strike. But don't worry about it. You can definitely show up and you can buy a brand new leather holster from our new supplier and then just transition right into an ad read before you get into anything appropriate. And you need to make sure you hit those because otherwise there's going to be penalties on the operating budget and somebody on the staff is going to end up suffering as a consequence. That's what happens. Yeah, like he says with boycotts, okay? Yeah, because if liberals want to hit the bottom line, it appeals to the protector instinct, and, well, nobody's going to want to rock the boat, and who knows, in a year's time, 2 years' time, what's going to be the topic that's going to rock the boat. This is about if the Daily Wire is going to leverage probably $100 million by the time you have marketing, infrastructure costs, by the time that you pay the legal compliance, all the technology to support Steven's show. And Steven's show even, oh, at the price that we offered it, he added. Yeah, that's so wonderful. You got to market this stuff at that level. Stop it. This isn't an unknown commodity. This is the motherfucker in the sphere, okay? Infrastructure cost? No, no, no. That's actually, like, he's got the studio, he's got the building down there in Texas, okay? That comes out of his operating budget, that $50 million that you've afforded him. If the show makes dramatically less money, well, how would it? Unless he decides to take that Walther Cold Remedy sponsorship and apply as necessary, that show's not going to suffer. You know what would make it suffer, though? Signing that contract right there. The CEO also took a dig at Crowder. Oh, he took multiple digs at him, but which one are you going to highlight? Claiming that he is not looking for a business relationship, he's looking for a benefactor. Fuck you, sincerely. In addition to complimenting his influence on the right and encouraging viewers to subscribe to Crowder's Mug Club forever. Yeah, after we took his idea, legitimately, it's like, oh, we've got this leftist tumblers, or leftist tears tumblers, or whatever fucking cringe shit that he does. Like, I like the Louder with Crowder mugs. Sorry, mine's just right over there. It's, like I said, it's, you know, keeping a couple of goofy things over there as well. He came up with that idea, okay? That's emblematic of what he does, okay? He's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to put some stuff behind a paywall. Okay, we're going to do some extra things for our subscribers, but just as a thank you gift for signing up for this stuff, yeah, you're paying, I forget what it is, $60 or $100 per year, whatever the fuck it was, okay? And I think I signed up during an offer or something like that, so it was probably $60 a year. $60 a year, not that bad, especially for the amount of content that he puts out there as well. The Daily Show, the extra half hour and all that stuff. It totally makes sense, but that's all at his discretion. That's the model that he established. But then at the same time, producing a rather good quality mug, that's something that everybody who's ever got that is like, wow, this is a hefty thing, okay? It's not tin, it's not painted, it's not made in China like those stupid fucking leftist tears tumblers. There's nothing cringe on it. It's just simply the writing. Like, you can see a couple of them, yeah, right there, okay? That's the one that I got, okay? It's, you know, handcrafted and all that shit as well, okay? He sent that out. I didn't think I'd ever get one, frankly, and I wasn't banking on it either. But that's just another reason. It's like, this guy came up with that initiative, made a brand out of it. He put people over profit because, yeah, I'd imagine those probably aren't that cheap to make, okay? Because I think it's made in the USA and all that stuff, handcrafted, you know, hand etched and all that stuff. Sure, it's not $100 mug or anything like that. It's probably only, you know, $1 or a couple of bucks to make. But shipping that out, especially to northern fucking Alberta of all places, okay, that's not cheap either. And sending them out to different corners of the earth, who knows if he did that. I didn't have to pay extra for that, okay? Like I said, I wasn't expecting it or anything like that. But to just receive it in my mailbox, it's like, what the fuck? The mug. Interesting. Okay, cool. I was just signing up to show support and to get access to the, you know, the after party afterwards. So yeah, I knew this video was going to get long, but the final thing that I want to address, he's got the talk back right there, okay? He recorded the phone call with Jeremy Boring. Don't know when this phone call took place. Have no idea what the context is. Don't know how long long the call was. Don't know everything that was discussed on it. Don't know if that was one of the calls that Jeremy Boring referenced during his diatribe as well. And frankly, the content of the call wasn't all that inflammatory, outside of Boring saying that, yeah, we let them keep everything after they leave their likeness, but we keep all of their back catalog. Sure, we use them as slave wage labor for a while, and we benefit off of that, but they're still famous afterwards. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever, fantastic. We know exactly what you're doing, but for you to come out first and foremost right afterwards, unprompted, it's not like Crowder was like, Daily Wire's a fucking scam, and here is exactly why. He went, no, the conservative partnership with big tech is worse than you thought, okay? And their contracts, their predatory contracts that look good, you get all this money up front, but the nefarious terms that are underlying it makes it difficult from anybody to differentiate themselves from the pack. That's what he was calling out. That's what I seen to begin with. I think Daily Wire looks incredibly bad coming out of that, and especially with all of their attack dogs being sick, at the proper term, I don't know, it's been a long fucking video, and sent to attack on Steven Crowder. He's put out 2 videos. Two videos. I will link to both of them. I encourage you to watch both of them. And the Daily Wire one, if you can suffer it, okay? If you've got a cow built up on your first knuckle, okay? If you have something to bite down on, because you're going to be pissed off if you're somebody who has listened to me this long, feel free to watch all of it, okay? Get the proper context for yourself. I do not see a situation where I would side with Daily Wire, especially given all of the information that we know about it right now. Crowder, I do believe, is trying to create a movement, trying to foster a movement, trying to move it forward. What is that movement? Free speech, free discussion, investigation of prickly topics. What is Daily Wire trying to do? They're trying to build their own Scrooge McDuck money pit at your expense, at creativity's expense, at individuality's expense. Daily Wire wants to pick that side of the fight. They have a lot of support that's out there. And like I said, we could name names. We could go down the list of people who are like, well, it's $50 million. That's a lot of money. You motherfuckers sold yourself out. You are worthless in this discussion because you don't stand for anything. And that's the reason I got on social media. That is the reason that I'm here on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, wherever the fuck you're catching this stuff. I came in because I seen the commentators in the space and I thought, fuck, they're all plastic. I don't like them, man. I want to add a layer of authenticity, okay? To my great detriment, okay? I've been struck. I've been put through a lot of stress over the past couple of years, but I'm doing this because it is authentic to me and it is something that I believe in. And, you know, ultimately, if Crowder's going to go independent, going to be wildly successful because of this. And Daily Wire, in the grand scheme of things, I said this before. It might have been on video. I might have just thought it, okay? But if anybody knows exactly when I say it, and, you know, I'll just crystallize it right here. Daily Wire is the CNN of the right. I know I said that in this video. But they're going to fade in popularity by 2024. You can goddamn well put that down. And authentic, real, and independent creators are going to pick up those spurned audiences and create something so much better in the aftermath. Oh yeah, one last thing before I peace out here. Okay, like I said, I started this at the beginning. It was a long video, okay, forgive me. Okay, the people that were complaining about, oh, he recorded his friend on a phone call, okay, after all of the, you know, shady shit that went on during the rest of the contract negotiations, which we aren't privy to, don't know if we're ever going to be, okay, for anybody complaining that, oh my god, he recorded his friend, okay, those are the same people that remember during Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, okay, oh my god, you were so thankful that Johnny Depp recorded some phone call or conversations, okay, had some video recorded as well. It's almost like these high-level negotiations exposing some fucking bad actors, okay, it was incredibly necessary. So yeah, you hear that conversation, you hear that talking point pop up by a bunch of disingenuous actors, okay, those are people that also are diving head first, neck deep, whatever other cliche you want to throw on top of that, in order to try to appeal to your emotions, which the Daily Wire, remember, the facts don't care about your feelings outlet. Yeah, very fucking sus that they're doing a lot of fucking emotional pleas right now, so send you back to my send-off. And I had to record this afterwards because I just thought about it and I was like, just shut up and just fucking get back to the finish anyways. So, with all that said, I'll probably be talking about this again on Tuesday after the Crowder Tim Pool interview, because that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. So we'll wait until then. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.